Hey everybody, it's End Times Talk. How's everybody doing this morning? I'll flip my camera on here in a second. I forgot to get everything set up here. Just looking on my feed on Twitter X, and there seems to be a lot happening. And one of the things that I noticed, there are little pockets that it's happening in. God is continuing to crack down on evil people, and I'm thankful for that. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Sorry, should have been ready, right? There I am. You can see my vacuum back here was doing some cleaning. There's so many dog hairs that get piled up in here, and dog has a bed in here. So, anyways, I'm gonna share this, and I'm just giving people a heads up. Some of this is a little hard to hear, not exactly easy, but being informed, knowing what's going on, pretty important. You know what I mean? So there is a ring of satanic pedos that was just busted in Australia, in Sydney, Australia. And I'll just play the report, but I mean, there's a vindication, when you see these kind of things happening. And I know there's sometimes a hopeless feeling with those of us who fight for children. And we got to celebrate each victory when it happens because of the system we're up against. So with no further ado, we're going to check this out.
Four men have been charged after police uncovered an alleged Sydney-based network of child abuse material with satanic and ritualistic themes. Strikeforce Constantine officers executed simultaneous warrants in Waterloo, Ultimo and Malabar, seizing electronic devices that allegedly contained thousands of files. Police said the material was linked to an international website and involved victims ranging from infants to children aged up to 12 years. Landon Ashton Versace Germanotta Mills, a 26-year-old man, was arrested in Waterloo and is alleged to be a leading figure in the group. Germanotta Mills describes himself as the founder and editor-in-chief of independent news site The Underground Media Network, which boasts it is committed to exposing institutional abuse, systemic failures, and the misuse of power. 3 more men, aged 46, 42, and 39, were arrested at a nearby unit block. All 4 were charged with a range of offences, and each man was refused bail.
Yuck. So these guys, I can almost guarantee you, were probably 764 or the Order of the 9 Angles. This is disgusting, and it absolutely, is a win when we see people get arrested and their faces get put out there and their names get put out there for the public to see, because, whether they evade justice or whatever, however it works, it's still, the world will dish out some justice. And, it's just a lot going on right now. Hold on, let me pull this up here. And I also want to say this, that, I do follow a guy named Alex Rosen, and he is rough around the edges. Rough around the edges, but people need to know this stuff. Now, Telegram is used for, like, again, excuse the language here, but, this stuff needs to be talked about. But he's rough around the edges, not a Christian, you know what I mean? But this guy that they caught, he said that he received this as recent as the day that, Alex posted this, and he put CP as his profile picture on Telegram. Telegram is such a dangerous place, and so is Discord. Discord is another one. Absolutely, uh, very much so fronts, that are, platforms that are used for the trading and dispersal of child exploitive material. And I'll tell you, when you get involved in this stuff, when you enter those rooms, and most of those rooms and things like that, they have your IP address, and that's what they do to kids. Is they'll go into games like Roblox, and they have this video game within Roblox called Forsaken, where they teach Spawnism, in which it comes right out of the occult, and it's basically, a satanic form of reincarnation. Even though reincarnation is satanic, but it's even more satanic when they say that, you have to perform some kind of ritual sacrifice or bloodletting to have a second chance at life, is what they say. And a lot of these guys that are doing this stuff, they are part of this. I mean, this is there's online rings, there's physical rings, that are doing this stuff. And I mean, they're getting so bold and brazen and I mean, like, here's the thing. I've never wanted to get involved with Discord or Telegram. I've always felt like a hard no from the Lord to be involved in it. And for this stuff, for that platform, Telegram, to allow this stuff as their profile picture, I got a problem with that, because, like, here's the thing. Your mind is not meant to see wickedness like that. And when a person puts it brazenly on the forefront like that, they want innocent people to view that stuff and see that it's evil. It's straight out of the pits of hell. Straight out of the pits of hell. Yeah. And Chevy Chase says Facebook is also, we reported 20 to 45 a day pedophiles. Most have new profiles up within minutes. I myself, Chevy Chase, have reported Facebook profiles that were obviously pedophiles, and Facebook got back to me, wouldn't even take them down. Yep. And I agree. If people knew the level of predators out there every single day, this is a widespread problem. And it's creeping in everywhere. This is straight out of the pits of hell. But it's got to be talked about. Otherwise, God's people aren't aware. And I mean, I know that Alex isn't a Christian, okay, but he is fighting for the kids. I got to give him that, I got to give him that. And so, here's another video of these same guys. This is the disgusting human beings. Absolutely disgusting human beings. Multiple Australians have been taken into custody after being accused of taking part in a satanic-themed child exploitation ring. Yeah, and it's so that way, like, the people watching it, this is proof that it is part of the religion. This is proof that it's part of the religion. And people have come down on me in my documentaries when it comes down to exposing the religious side of this thing, because the people that are involved in, say, like, Freemasonry or paganism or Wicca or anything like that, or Satanism, they act like they don't hurt children at the inner circle. You know what I mean? And they do. They absolutely do. My faith, belief in Jesus Christ, is one faith that absolutely stands against the hurting of little children. But there's a lot of religions out there that are pro child abuse. I mean, and that, I don't know how else to say it, but to say it. And until people realize and wake up the religion behind this thing, you're not going to ever really get to the bottom of the problem. I've been doing research at the on the place in northern Michigan And I've been looking into some of the people that have been looking into this, and there's this one lady, and I really agree with her when I see her posts. I think her name is Kirby Summers. She was a victim of Epstein, and she come out and she said, until you realize Epstein is just the tip of the iceberg, just a small, actually relatively small piece of the puzzle, you're not really doing any damage to this thing. And with the new documentary, we are going to reveal the religious side of this, and we do throughout Mackinac Monarch 1 and 2. But with this new one that I'm working on, we're revealing the and I'm a big screw up, man. Like, I screw up so much, and I say the wrong things, but it's like, I am the one thing God has really gifted me with is exposing the enemy's camp. You know, I I feel so blessed to be able to see uh what they're truly up to and how they operate. And but Kirby Summers, like I said, she was a victim of Epstein, and she's coming out and she's saying, if you don't realize that the Epstein, again, is the this minuscule part of this network, um I think that we're pretty much doomed to fail. But people like myself, people like Gray, people like Kathy O'Brien, people like Kirby, we see a bigger picture, you know and I'm trying to reveal that bigger picture. And it's like, in the documentary, we're gonna start by revealing the religious side, and then we're going to very briefly talk about Epstein and his ties. Like, we're gonna connect it all, everything I can find on him. It's gonna be, brought out into the open in this next documentary, that with his ties to this place, maybe not his whole life, but the ties to his place. But then we're going to show all these other ties that I've discovered and like I said, again, I'm sitting in front of a list of names that I've written down. It took me, and I'll be honest with you, I get anxiety just even writing on paper. I do little notes, I jot notes, I have chicken scratch writing, but I sat here and very detailed, wrote down every single name, their year of joining this organization, and whether or not they've been a member for longer or not. And I mean, there's 33 pages of 25 names apiece, and there's some of the biggest names in politics, in Hollywood, and I mean, like, even John Wayne and Johnny Cash. And you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it. But then when you start to look at this list and you listen to some of the victims and the names of the people that abuse them, they come out and they say, or you finally start to figure out what they're saying, and um, you start to see the percentage of names that are tied to other occult networks, other, like, like I said, the Jeffrey Epstein list, things like that. I mean, it all ties into each other. And I haven't gone public with this list, but I mean, it's, like Colin Powell. He's on here. Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool guy, he's on here. Condoleezza Rice again. It's just a few of the names. Kenny Rogers is on here. Yep. And so, a lot of big names, a lot of politicians, a lot of and I'll say this: if you think Hollywood's bad, and if you think that the politicians on these lists are bad, wait until you see how many CEOs and the heads of corporations and banks and different things like that are involved in this. It's almost like there's a religious system that's been put into place that if you become a part of it, you can reach the heights of the status of this earth. Or I wouldn't want that kind of a status, being honest with you. I'd rather be poor, dirt poor, than do what these people are asking people to do, that are thirsty for power. Um, but it's one, and George Carlin said it's a big club, and you ain't in it. And I'm glad we ain't in it, brothers and sisters. I'm glad we ain't in it. But one of the biggest problems in all of this is state-sponsored trafficking. And hold on one second, I'm trying to find this here. I was looking for a specific video. Give me a moment here. All right. So again, if there's any cussing in this, I'm sorry. Okay. I apologize, but we need to see the reality of all of this. All right. Here we go.
This is not going to be good.
The police officer said, hey, I just have a bolo out in your truck and I need to detain you until Meridian Police come.
We got a call from Meridian Police Department detectives, okay, and for whatever reason, they're looking for your truck.
And then it was just more and more and more, and pretty soon there was probably 10 to 15 police cars around, 20 different officers or so, right? The detectives came up and they told us, hey, we have a CPS referral for you guys. It looks like you guys missed your appointment this morning.
Hey, Levi, do me a favor, step out of the car. No, I want you to step out of the car. It's not my right to speak. Not right now, son. Get out of the damn car. Get out of the car. I'm not gonna screw around with you, okay? Get out of the car right now. Get back now. Or you're gonna go to jail. Detained for what? We're not gonna screw with you. You understand? We're not to.
What time did I commit?
No felony injury to child. Get out of the car.
Hey, you can't abuse me. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. And let me get out.
For what reason? For a felony injury to a child. Okay?
And I knew what was going to happen at this point, but I didn't want to accept it.
The officers come around to my side. They open the truck door, and at this moment, when this is all happening, I remembered what I prayed, and immediately I knew, I had no doubt in my mind they were going to take him, that no matter what happened, they were going to take him.
Give me the baby, okay?
I can't. Can you please help me right now? You understand? I'm in desperate wrong right now.
We know.
I really need your help right now.
We'll give you that opportunity, okay? But we're going to take him to the hospital. And if you want to go, you can
Can I
come
ride with you?
Yes, you can. Your mom's not there to practice out. Then take her away from you and get in. She can go right away. We are. Yeah. Well, no, we don't want her to know where we're hospital. No. We don't want her to know where we're hospital. No.
The officer told me that I could go with him in the ambulance into the hospital.
Yeah, and I don't know what was said before then. I was not a part of that conversation.
You can't take him. You can't.
Okay. So you have one option at this point. You need to give him to the EMT, and you can go on your merry way with your friends and your family who's out there.
That's not Mary at all.
Or I remove him from you and you go to jail. You need to make that decision. You need to make it now. Yes.
I won't let him go.
Okay. Go ahead and jump all the way from me.
Sick. These people are
Please let
sick.
him go so he does not get hurt, okay? Come here, little buddy. Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I believe that the reason they're taking the child, from my understanding, because I watched this documentary and I'm trying to remember, it's either one of two things. Either they chose to give their child vitamins instead of going by the doctor's orders, or there was a procedure that the doctors ordered that they refused, okay, because they didn't trust what the doctors were doing. And, we have that right. I mean, this is state-sponsored kidnapping. I mean, this makes my blood boil.
No, she's going to jail.
I just said I couldn't, but I let him go.
Oh, put your hands on your back, okay?
Do you see this, man? And this is from that documentary these little ones, and you know, there's so much going on, and the thing is, like, I don't know how else to say it, but I have been trying and trying and trying to get people to move over to Twitter X because it is the absolute wild, wild west of the internet. And we have got to get more Christians and shine the light in the darkness. You know, we have got to get out there. You know, and it's there's so many platforms that are being used for these horrible purposes, and you know, I think at the top it's allowed. I really do, and I'm going to say that. I think it's being allowed at the top because these platforms, they got to know this is going on. Roblox knows what's going on, and Telegram knows what's going on, and Discord knows what's going on. And they'll intentionally lie to protect what they're allowing. And then, you know, with like Roblox itself, they're finding out that like some of the people, I don't know about like the CEOs or anything like that, but some of the people that are out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing to innocent people, if you know what I'm talking about, are people who work for Roblox that are supposed to be in positions of authority. You know, and Chevy Chase, you're right. Many don't want to hear it. It goes outside their comfort zone until it's their child. And I'm telling you what, I protected my child and my niece like a bulldog. You know, I was adamant about knowing where they were going, what they were doing, who they were around. You know, I remember seeing an interview, and I don't know if it was Chris Hansen, and I'll be honest with you, God bless Chris Hansen. Many a pedophile have been stopped because of Chris Hansen. But I remember seeing in an interview where they were talking to this guy that was like a I think he was like one of the worst pedophiles that ever, I guess, walked, you know, in America. And you know, and I guess he was arrested, you know, and all that stuff. And they were profiling him and they were asking like, what did you look for? How did you target your targets and like this and that? And he had said he avoided families with a dad that could kick his ass. That's what that was. He said he avoided families that had a dad that could kick his ass. And I am that dad that will whoop some wholesale ass to protect my kids. I had a grown man threatening my son the other day. And I am really good at what I do. And I found his phone number and I called him. And I said, do not put your hands on my son. And then it turned into, I wasn't, you know. And I'm like, damn right you're not. Because you're going to have to come through me first. My son might be, could be a bit of a troll sometimes because he's a smart ass. But I'm going to tell you right now, I stand up for my kids. When I saw the school bullying them, I'll tell you a story. I know I'd love to put the school out there, but I got to keep my family safe. It's the only reason I haven't made a documentary on the school, right? But my son was standing up on the bus, and the bus driver purposefully slammed down the brakes, and to make my son fall forward, and he fell down, and he skinned his knee out. And he shouldn't have been standing. He should have listened. But did that give the bus driver right to literally assault my son using a moving vehicle? And they didn't want to show us the video. And I said, you're going to show us the video. We're going to get lawyers involved. Like, this is going to be a thing. Like, you're going to wish you hadn't have done this sort of situation. And they ended up showing me the video, and I seen that. And I'm like, dude, you guys are sick. And this is the same. This is a school where football players were hazing a young boy. and they made him take a toothbrush, and you know the rest. You can figure out the rest. And this stuff is sick. It's happening all over. It's in the schools. My son exposed a pedophile at his school, and he got expelled. That's the truth. Right after he exposed a pedophile, man, out. Not allowed on premises. There's, I mean, you know what I mean? And it was one of the teacher's kids that was doing it. And then I found out the superintendent's daughter was taking videos of young girls in the bathroom in the locker room at that school. And if I ever move away from where I'm at, it'll be the first thing I do is go after both these schools, and there'll be a documentary about both of them and about this area. There's some corruption in some very local places, but very high up local places. It isn't some far off thing in a distant land. It's right in your backyard, your neighbors. It's so prevalent, and there's not a lot of education on what's going on. There's only one name. I respect what you do, brother. These watchmen always sneak dish you because they hate on you and don't have the courage to step up against evil like Yeshua did. Yeah, I know they do. And there's got to be a majority of them against one person, right? Absolutely. Last night I got called a gossiper and all that stuff. When I've talked about the person I've talked about, I told it to their face. I told them right to their face. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And God knows, Jesus knows, when we stand before the bema seat, he knows. There's not a bit of it that's gossip. Everything that I've said publicly, I've said to the person to their face. And I don't feel a bit bad for it because the person does not believe in repentance. So it's going to continue on. I can almost guarantee you, so whatever. Yeah, absolutely, Laura. And there's even channels recently I've been supporting that, I felt that I was just kind of blindsided, and then everybody's kind of like this negative opinion about me all of a sudden, and it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? I thought we were all cool, and so I'm gonna exit. I'm not getting on anybody's channel anymore. I'll have one guest at a time on my channel, for whether it's like interviewing purposes or just to, people like Gray. Gray's allowed on this channel anytime. That dude could call me up and be like, dude, let me come on. He's coming on, plain and simple. John Paul, you're another one, man. When you get up and running, and if you hear this later on, when you get up and running, he's more than a welcome on this channel. He's a smart guy, a lot of wisdom, and he worked in law enforcement, busting child sex trafficking rings. John Paul did, and he's given me permission to say that publicly, and he's helped me through some of these investigations. Like John Paul, when I was in Epstein's cabin, he stayed on the phone all night with me as I was doing what I needed to do in that cabin. He stayed up all night with me. That's a true brother in Christ that'll stand with you. They won't even sleep. And then later on, I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. I slept for like 2 hours at the Epstein cabin because the place is just the heebie-jeebies. And then the idea that the back door didn't lock, the sliding glass door didn't lock, really bothered me. And I just felt on guard, like anybody could come in at any time. And and I got up and I did something online, and I don't know how John found out I was awake, but he got a hold of me and he says I couldn't sleep because I was thinking about you, and where you're at. People are like, don't think that an investigation like that matters, but it's interesting because there were things that I found at the Jeffrey Epstein cabin that the world doesn't know yet, that the world does not know yet. Oh, they're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're gonna find out. Oh, they're gonna find out. I appreciate you, Kathy. I appreciate you. Good morning to everybody that's here. Let me see who's all here. Dippity doo, good to see you. Oh wow. Dippity doo says, I saw a video of a man asking his young son to play Roblox with him, and he says, no thanks, Dad. I wonder if that's a layered statement. You know what I mean? Curious. Yeah, it's me against the world, it feels like sometimes, but man, with people like TO4JC, uh with people like Laura, people like Chevy Chase, people like John Paul, people like Tanya, people like Johnny and Linda, people like Jenny, you know, people like the others that are here, it makes my job a little bit easier, you know. And there's other people, you know, I can't say what I know, but I can tell you there's other people here that fight against trafficking, you know, and against child abuse, you know, and it's like God's starting to bring people together, you know, people like Gray, people like Kathy, and it's really cool because Kathy reached out to me and wants to be in the new documentary, and I'm really, really excited about that. I love Kathy a lot, and she's the one that really woke me up to like what's actually. And I mean, I knew about Pizzagate and stuff like that, and James Alefantis and Comet Ping Pong, and I'm sorry, you know, people forgot all about the truth, man, because some schmuck that actually ended up getting charged with CP said that, you know, it kind of was supposedly disproved the whole Comet Ping Pong Pizzagate stuff, and no, that was all real, man. That was all real. Comet Ping Pong, the artwork. I mean, dude, there's a video of John Podesta there at a party, you know, where they're wearing black paint on or black light paint on their bodies. I mean, this stuff is sick. These people are sick. This is evil. You know, last night I felt so attacked, and I just felt this like wave of evil. And in Sister Linda texted me at like 5:30 in the morning, and she never does that. And I said, Sister Linda, I need you right now. Like, I need you right now to pray with me. And she got on the phone, and I just wailed, man. I said, this world is so wicked. There are so many things that people don't even know or have a clue about that are going on behind the scenes, even on YouTube. Even people that, you know, you think you can trust, you can't. I just, so, but, you know, God is doing a working, and there are children that are being rescued. You know, I know that they're saying at this point there's like 36, and I'm not a Trump fan, please. You know, after what's happened, I'm not a Trump fan, but there's like 36,000 kids, something like that, that have been rescued, and it's all about the children, not about who done what. So I ain't gonna give nobody credit, but you know, to see those guys get busted in Australia for what they're doing. And then you see the religion behind it. Now, I mean, you can go to Mackinac Monarch, and you can see you can go to Mackinac Monarch 1 that I did, and you can see where I show the pedophiles that have surrounded that island on all sides. And it's like there's a concentration of pedophiles around Mackinac Island. Well, it's no different than this investigation either. The pedophiles are backed right up to the edge of this thing, just waiting to pounce. And I think because they've already been compromised, and the system knows that they're compromised. And I'll speak freely on Kathy O'Brien's behalf because she's already given me permission to talk about it. Her dad trafficked her to a Freemasonic Blue Lodge down in Muskegon, Michigan. There's another one, Muskegon, Michigan. And I'm going to say names. I'm going to name names because I ain't got no reservations for these bastards. Okay. Gerald Ford, who was a politician in the area at the time, came to her dad after he got busted for molesting Kathy O'Brien and making CP, all right, and shipping it internationally, kind of like the same way the North Fox Island ring was doing it. It was Gerald Ford that told her dad, if you give your daughter over into our, MK Ultra Project Monarch, uh, uh, thing that we're doing, you'll be exempt from prosecution. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is certain lingo and that's out there that protects the government and actually allows the FBI and the CIA to traffic kids to blackmail high up individuals. True story. You really dig and you can find it. I won't present that information here, but if you dig, you will find it. And Gerald R. Ford, because of that bastard, Kathy O'Brien was conscripted into the MK Ultra Project Monarch government agenda. I love that sister so much, And she was taken to Mackinac Island like it, like her dad literally just took her wherever the government, wherever the people that ran this thing told her or told him to take her. A few of the places was Mackinac Island, Beaver Island, Walt Disney World, Bohemian Grove, Disneyland. And I mean, like, there are pedophiles that get busted at Disney all the time. And there's all these underground tunnels under the whole entire shebang. I honestly can't wait for everybody to see the new one, but there's more research to be done. I want to dig deeper. I think that there's more. I do. And Jesus is patient, long suffering for the fruit of the earth. And I'm patient, long suffering to get this out there because this is big. And I really got to make sure that all the nails are in the coffin before I release it. And until I get, say, a green light from Gray or Kathy about what they think about it and the research that's been done. And when I shared my research with Gray, I told him everything. I just feel like Jesus tells me I can trust him. And I don't always get that feeling from people, and then I trust them and I get burned all the time. Yep. All the time. But, Kathy's gone through so much abuse. Oh, but she's strong. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, when you're talking to her, sometimes you can see a little bit of pain in her eyes. You can. That's my opinion. But she's strong, and she's in it to win it. And she's been fighting since day one, since Mark Phillips got her out of Monarch. Yeah, absolutely, Chevy Chase. Absolutely. Yeah, Ukraine is heavy in child trafficking, and that's why the government dishes out money to them. The commodity of children, and I hate saying that, but it's the reality of the way that these people look at it. The commodity of children across the globe is the biggest moneymaker on the planet. And I'm sorry to get graphic here, but getting down into the harvesting of adrenochrome and parts for surgeries, I've found out that a heart is worth $75,000. The retinas are worth $75,000. And I can't remember if it's the spleen, the kidney, or the liver is worth $75,000. And it's the three main parts they look for. And so this is real hard to hear, but after they use a child, they harvest them. So it's almost like each child gets pushed to the breaking point, and there are Christians out there that won't even touch the subject. They won't even touch the subject, and then come down on me like I'm a bad guy. Yeah, and so it just seems like more and more moves are grappling towards that. Like what the FBI says, and I'm talking about when it comes to the 764 and the Order of the Nine Angles, the Maniac Murder Cult, all these different groups that are satanic accelerationists, but their bankroll comes from pedophilia. The FBI says that there is more than one active investigation in each state. In each state. Sorry, I'm using a toothpick here. I apologize. Starting to think it's like a tick or something, you know what I mean? Like get anxiety and I just start picking at my teeth. So these groups, they call them, child R, and it ends with an E, 4-letter word, gangs. These gangs, that's their source of income. And it's like, okay, well, a lot of gangs just sell drugs. So, like, I think it's because they're so satanic. They want the most darkest income. They want the income coming in that is it's coming from the most darkest acts that mankind can think up. Yeah, no, that's exactly it right there. And I mean, like, the time of when I saw that documentary, it was The Eyes of the Devil. It's a Polish documentary. It's subtitled, but that's what they were saying at that time, and it's an older documentary, yeah. So prices go up with demand, and there was, it was a ways away from here, but there was a woman that was found dead, and the child had been cut out of her stomach. And they think it's to do with the family, and I think the whole damn family is a group of Satanists and pedophiles. And you research the family a little bit, and they're convicted pedophiles, all of them. So there's a tie here. We're seeing a tie. In my documentaries, man, you clear as day see the attachment of these religiously themed networks. And just like they want the Jews to take the fall for what they're doing with the Illuminati, the Satanists want the Christians to take the fall for what they're doing, like with I don't know why I keep saying Sir. I keep thinking Sir Francis Bacon, but it's Francis Sheldon. So that's where that comes from. But Francis Sheldon, who ran North Fox Island, a pedophile ring there, he started a front organization. And it's always a 501c3 because they don't want to pay taxes. And it's always got some Christian name. And it's also interesting, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club is on my list. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. This list I have in front of me, I won't show you names, but give me a moment here. All of that right there that's poking up right there. All that poking up right there is all these names. And you can see how many names I had wrote down. And my wife is helping me type it in because I get anxiety having to sit there and just type. I get, it's not like I'm dyslexic, but it is. It's kind of like that. And I have a hard time focusing and concentrating when it comes to that sort of stuff, like just repetitiveness, right? That repetition is what's hard. And she's like, "Are you serious? This person's on the list?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious." J.C. Penney, remember the guy that owned the clothing store, J.C. Penney? Yeah, he's on the list. It's every facet and every walk in life. It's not just your politicians in your Hollywood. People focus on the politicians in the Hollywood because that's what they want you to see. This is so deep. Pharmaceutical reps and people who are high up in pharmaceutical companies. And I mean, this is insane. And that's not even where it trickles down to the street level, where you just have like these pieces of crap, you know, that are just disgusting, and the people who are the consumers, you know, there was a ring that was even busted down in Alabama not too long ago, and they even said we don't know how far this stretches. And then they it was almost like the wording that they were using. Hello, Sandy. The wording that they were using, hi Pamela, was like they knew people that were high up in the ring, but they weren't going to tell the public because it would really throw a monkey wrench into stuff. And I mean, I've seen the Epstein list in its entirety. I have a redacted, an unredacted version of the Epstein list that a hacker gave to me. True story. And it's got all their phone numbers and their emails and all this stuff. Yeah. Clinton's a monster. A monster. She was one of Kathy O'Brien's abusers, and I won't tell you how. They're sick. Absolutely full of demons. And I'll be honest with you, I've learned things just recently that I didn't know before about even people on YouTube. And I'll tell you, I am cutting ties, severing ties hard. Oh, yeah, severing ties hard. Yeah, last night was, talked to someone on the phone after the fiasco last night, and I definitely am like this. Dude, I cried. I'm like, this platform, the internet, all of it, the whole damn thing. It's so evil. If you knew the amount of evil, people would run from it. Like, it's scattered. No, we don't got, I don't want nothing to do with that. And I don't. I'm going to just do my own thing. And, that's the way it's going to be from now on. The only channel I will recommend that has stood by my side through thick and thin, even my mistakes, even my crazy, because we all know Josh is crazy. Okay. Even through all that is Arrow Ministries, AIRO Ministries. And man, some God-fearing people. Everybody I've recommended over there loves it. And if Laura, if you would start popping the link for Arrow Ministries. I went there this morning and I woke up just so heavy-hearted on 2 hours of sleep. And the Lord sent me a scripture, I believe, because I was praying. Right? And I literally was praying. And, I want to say thank you, Mark. Love you, brother Mark. But I was praying, and I have a Bible app. And you know how you get those little scriptures, that just pop up, bing. I'm literally praying. I just get done praying. I pick up my phone, and bloop, it pops up while I'm looking at my phone, right as I get done praying. And it's talking about God is your God, and he is going to protect you. And I just was reassured. God sees what I'm going through. I'm one man up against a giant, man. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Like, oh, goodness gracious. Lord have mercy. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Jeffrey Epstein's still alive. Absolutely 110%. Jeffrey Epstein is absolutely alive. There is drone footage from his island. I have the footage where the drone came over, and this was supposed to be after his suicide. And you can see Jeffrey Epstein sitting there, leaned up against his ORV talking to his groundskeeper. Seriously, he's still alive. Absolutely 110%. Absolutely 110%. Yeah, don't believe what they're telling you. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Believe the on the ground researchers right here. These people, man, and I got to take a moment. I really want people to listen in that are listening in. And I really ask for you to be patient with me as I do this here, because this is important to me. If people care about me, they will hear what I'm about to say. if you care about, you know, getting something that's real, you'll, and I've done this a few times, but again, it needs to be done because I'm absolutely 110% not a pastor. I'm not. And I'm not going to pretend to be one. I'm not. I'm not going to pretend to be one. I'm not going to do what everybody else does. I'm not going to go with the grain. But this guy right here, Johnny at Arrow Ministries, this guy right here is the real deal. And he's kind, he's loving, he's gentle. I am not. I am hard. I have a hard outer shell. Okay? Very hard outer shell. My wife calls me an avocado. I'm hard on the outside and I'm very soft and gooey on the inside. But you got to get past that outer layer. And I don't let a lot of people pass that outer layer. And you know what? I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to. But Johnny and his wife, Linda, they go live almost every single day and do lives anywhere from an hour to a half an hour, depending on, and they do prayer requests every morning. You pop a prayer request in there and they will surely see it and pray with you. And they're just such good people. And I highly recommend, if you want a good channel that you can trust, Johnny and Linda at Iro Ministries is definitely it. And they only have 45 or 450 subscribers. Oh, they deserve a whole lot more than that. And I know God's going to bless their socks off. Sister Linda last night, like I said, she texted me at 5:30 in the morning. And I said, please, I need prayer. And I need prayer now. Like, I'm not one to pray for myself. I pray for everybody else, the mother and the brother. I sit down at my meal and I pray for all the subscribers and viewers at End Times Talk. And all the brothers and sisters that are out there, even the ones that might be my enemies, I pray for them. I might not like them. I might not associate. I might stand up against them, but I love them. Absolutely. If I didn't love them, I'd let them just be to their own devices. If I didn't love the subscribers, I'd let them just go be deceived, And I mean, but I'm getting off track here. Linda, called me up. And she took the time to pray with me, and we just prayed together. And she prayed for me and my wife and my son and my dog, and I prayed for her and Johnny and their dogs. And people like Tanya, again, this lady, another prayer warrior. And thank you so much for the prayers, everybody. I feel so loved by you guys, but I feel so hated from the rest of the community. It's because you come against, people that are at the head. Boy, they don't like getting shook, man. That foundation gets shook and they feel it. And if it wasn't true, they wouldn't. I mean, here's the thing. Can I tell you something? I remember back when I first started in the Watchman community, I was really pet peeved by someone specifically, it was Repo Man 64's channel. In the live chat, a woman that just was a liar, just a liar. And I seen where she's making things up, and I got in the comment section and I put something up, and I'm like, you are lying, absolutely a bald-faced liar, lying to everybody about me. And there's a lot of that going on right now. And he got in there and he said, let it be water off a duck's back. Now, if I'm not onto something, why are people so offended by me? Huh? Why are people so offended by me? It's something to ask yourself. But everybody at Arrow Ministries, and even the people in the live chat, they're so loving. They're so kind. They're so gentle. And I'm in there sometimes. I'm a little bit of a rabble-rouser. I'm going to admit I'm a bit of a comedian when I'm in a good mood. I like to joke around with people. If you get a nickname from me, I really like you. I really like you. If you get a nickname from me, I really, really like you. And I'm still yet to think of yours, Laura, but you're getting one. Trust me. Like, but Tanya, she's separate because she's literally like a spiritual mom to me. Like I, she sends me scriptures just like she does her own children. And she says that's reserved for my kids. And here I am, an orphan, and I get really good people like that in my life. I have to go through some bad ones. Boy, oh boy. I have to go through a lot of hardships to find out who's real and who's not. And, but I'm glad that I've been through the hardships that I've been through to come out with, I mean, not too many people can say they got, 6 to 8 really good, solid friends, maybe 10, you know? And I don't want to say his name because I feel like I always curse myself when I say it, but I got another guy that I look up to as a dad, too. I do. I just haven't told him that. Let's pray for Jenny, Lord, or everybody. Let's all just kind of spiritually lay hands on her right now because this woman needs a change. She's really going through it. Dear Jesus, Heavenly Father, we just pray for Jenny, Lord. I pray that you just pick her up, and I just pray that you give her the words to say. I pray that you give her favor with her new employers, and that you will help her to just have every correct word to say in her interview, and that she'll be able to get this job, that it's a good paying job in Jesus' mighty name. I pray, Lord, that you just will help her to get this because the working at the nursing home is very hard on her physically. I just pray that you open doors, God. You're a miracle worker and a way maker. God, you hear our cries and you hear our prayers. And I just ask you, Jesus, just to be with Jenny. And then when she walks through that door, they see the glory of God all over her. That's what I pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen. Deputy D says, I've been asking God to bring me in with like-minded people. I eventually weed out the ones that don't resonate with me. Prayers, Jenny. Yeah, absolutely, Deputy Do. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I can promise you I'm genuine, but you got to get past my crazy. There's a little layer of crazy. I can't help I'm bipolar. Things just fluctuate sometimes. It is what it is. You can call it menopause or something, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you can get past that, because I've been traumatized. Like you're looking at a man that has been through it. and I'm sorry, I have my ups and my downs. And I say this often. I shouldn't have to apologize because I only owe it to God. But I feel like, even last night, just whatever. But I just, I'm one of those people that I have my fluctuations. I have PTSD. I have bipolar disorder. I'm autistic. I'm ADHD. I am a soup pot full of issues. But God loves me, and He loves me just the way that I am, even with my dysfunction. and I'm just thankful to be doing what I'm doing. I just need to stay in my lane. That's the problem. I need to learn to stay in my lane. Don't get out of the lane and keep driving straight. Stay focused on the prize ahead. Stay focused on the job in front of me and quit sidetracking. This is what I keep doing. I keep sidetracking because I love people and I want more friends. And I'll be honest with you, I long for more friends and more family because my family is so small. I have my wife, I have my dog, I have my son, in that order. Just kidding. And then I have my grandma, and I have my sister, but she's down in the South, and we don't get to talk all that often. And there are other families members that are still alive, but there's one family member that's just this. I mean, I'm not going to get into my situation as a family, but there's reasons why they're not in my life, Oh man, I love you guys so much. Thank you for the encouragement, Jenny and Laura and Tanya and y'all are some good people, man. Just super grateful and thankful. And y'all see my crazy on other channels and stuff like that. And, where I kind of lose it sometimes. But you all are patient with me. You all see that I'm going through something much, much bigger and much, much greater than what a lot of people out there are dealing with. Exposing these rings and being a victim myself. Leave it to the abused to stand up for themselves, right? I mean, that's kind of what's happened. I mean, they have literally left it to the abused. But again, I'm going to say that this channel, IRO Ministries, that I've got up on the screen right here, these people are the salt of the earth, man. They're a real deal and they're genuine. And I would love to see their subscriber list shoot through the sky. I really would. I would love people, if they care about me and they see that I'm genuine. If you see that I'm genuine and you trust what I have to say, that what I'm telling you is the truth, you could trust that you can go subscribe to these people at IRO Ministries, AIRO Ministries. I mean, and there's all sorts of different videos already, and they go live almost every day, every morning, sometimes even at night. They do have a Telegram channel. It's like a prayer closet where you can go and put up prayers 24/7 and be prayed for. These people pray in season and out of season. And I'll tell you, as a prayer warrior myself, the key is in season and out of season. At IRO Ministries. Thank you, TO4JC. I appreciate you. There's people that have been touched by this ministry that don't ever even show their face. That'll get a hold of me behind like email and stuff like that. They don't ever comment because they don't like being in the public eye. And I understand that. There's probably a lot of heat on this channel. I've had people tell me that what I'm doing has helped them and encouraged them. And that's what it's all about. Last night I genuinely thought about just clicking that delete button, bloop, gone, in the click of a button, and just working on documentaries and staying over on Twitter X. I actually feel more comfortable on Twitter X than YouTube. I feel so much more in tune with people who are conspiracy minded and that know Jesus because of what they've found. Did you know that most conspiracies lead people to Jesus? It's the way they're designed. It's the way that the enemy is going to attack, and he's going to do things. But then when people start to research and look at it, it always leads back to Jesus. In the Bible, the Word of God. And man, I'm not a pastor, but Johnny is. Over here at IRO Ministries, for me to get a call in the middle of the night to be prayed for, oh man, how refreshing that was. How refreshing. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for having my back at such an hour that was so inconvenient, and making the time and taking the time. And there's so many of you that do. Laura, I mean, you and your husband Kevin were on the phone with me last night for quite a while, just encouraging me. And I'm sorry, I need constant encouragement because this is depressing. It's depressing. I can't lie. I'm not going to lie. I have no reason to lie. It's absolute depressing. Like I get so down in the dumps so quick, so fast. And it's like almost each day I need to just be told by somebody that I'm loved and that I'm not forgotten. So I, am thankful to all of you who take the time out of your busy schedules to send me a little bit of love in the form of a prayer or in the form of encouragement, even in the comment section. I see them and I always try to respond, but I'm so behind in comments right now. I'm just kind of like, I'm going to have to let it go. Like I'm going to have to just kind of get with the newer comments because I'm behind, you know, I'm behind. There's a gentleman that I met last night, and he worked in radio for 30 years. And this guy, I could hear him welling up, you know, and tearing up. And he says, I just want to serve the Lord, and I want to serve any way I can. And this dude's got a radio voice. He's got that radio voice. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that, man. But that's his natural voice. And he's agreed to, he's like, I'd even narrate your whole documentary for you. And I said, I don't think you need to do that, because I think people do want to hear my voice in the documentary and as I present the information. But in the intro of the documentary, like, for instance, I'll show you something. I'll give you this much. I'm not going to go through it all, but I'll give you this much. Hold on. I'll show you just the intro to the documentary real quick. And then, so like the first, hold on, I got to go through this. The first 3.5 minutes is the intro, but then he is, for the first minute, he's good at what he does. And he's got, in the intervals where there's like the beat that's there, he's going to speak in between the beat. And I'm really excited to have this guy be a part of the project. And as he gives me permission, I'll let people know. But at this time, he kind of wants to remain nameless. But I'm just going to show you this is the first part of my documentary that I'm going to be releasing. Just kind of like a teaser for people that haven't seen this. You got to have it there long enough so people can read it. Otherwise, it don't count. Let's see elbows on that like button, as Tanya and Laura would say. That's Epstein's cabin right there. And so that is the intro for the new documentary. And I'll tell you, we're already at this point 24 minutes edited, and I'm getting ready to finish up on the next part, which will bring it to about 27 minutes. But then it gets really hard, you know? Then it gets really hard. The hard part comes. Exposing the religious side of it isn't so hard, but when you get into hearing what the witnesses and people are saying that's going on in this place, it's really hard. Tell you, I've even been able to obtain one of their books, and you would not begin to believe the crap that's in this thing. Just the thing that they put out for everybody to have. I don't know if I can find it. We'll see. This was the book that I was needing, if people want to know. It gives me a lot of information I need. I'm trying to flip through it real quick and find this, because you got to hear this. It's weird. Really weird. If I can find it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's back here more. Give me a moment, because I want to try to read this to you, what I've found in here. And I was talking to John Paul, and he's like, dude, that's sick. This is supposed to be all kids 18 and under right here. Listen to this. Listen to this, right? This is right out of this book that I have that came from this place. The bridge, under the Marengo River Bridge, there is a sacred place. River rocks lie in the shadows like children hunched over. Their bodies curved into the sand. Come on now. And the river runs cool and green over bright pebbles. The corners are littered with broken beer bottles, cigarette butts, cans glistening against the musky darkness. The two cement bridge abutments are scrawled with graffiti. There are boys, my brother among them. Their voices vulgar and real as they curse and spit and watch the river slip by. There is heat and the smell of rich black river mud. It's almost like someone's describing. I mean, you'll see. There are thin silvery minnows darting downstream. In the slow afternoon, the boys chase frogs with sticks, smoke cigarettes, sip stale beer stolen from their parents. They talk about baseball and sex. This is in this book. And if it wasn't for people who backed me up financially, I couldn't have obtained this. And this gives me names. I mean, dude, listen to that. I mean, it's pretty gross, right? Children hunched over in the sand. And then brings up alcohol and sex. And you know, what is this? I understand that, Haley. Sorry, I didn't see your comment until now, sister. Yeah, no, we got to get educated. We got to get educated. You're right, Haley. We got to get educated so that way we can stand against what's happening now and what's coming next. Like, we're in this whole new phase that's going on, but God is sending people in, and I mean, I'll even show you, like, there's people that are out on X saying, like, there's a documentary that's being made. Victims and witnesses, come forward with your information. Now is the time. Like, it's crazy how things are pulling together. And I got a buddy, Gray, who he's very well connected in the community of those who have been victims of this thing. And he put a post up. Sorry, excuse me. he put a post up over on his Twitter X, and it was just him like doing some work. There was some snow. He had some water in his boot, and he just poured it out. It had 200,000 views, over 200,000 views, and he's like, I'm so mad, Josh, because when there's any posts of any substance, it's like it gets censored, and there's like not even a quarter of the views of what a subscriber list is. Even some of them build up over time and things like that. Like for right now, I'll even show you. Give me a moment here because I want people to see. Hold on. Share my screen with you here. So over on my Twitter X, all right, there's 732 people, and I subscribe to one person. That's the one subscription. But you have the documentary, and it's got 37,603 views on Twitter X. Isn't that insane? When it's got 1,300 on YouTube. That's how censored I am on YouTube. 37,603 right there. 37,000. 54 shares. And there's a bunch of bookmarks. Like if you click on it, there's even more bookmarks. 175 bookmarks. And I can't remember where the original one is. Kathy O'Brien shared it. But the first documentary has like only 32,000. This one got more views. And I think, again, it's because people do look for production quality. And, everybody that's backed me up to do this thing financially, has made that possible to be able to do. One thing I will say that I am in need of is a good microphone. I have this one. All right. Absolute trash. It was a used microphone, and I'm pretty sure that I got screwed. But I was talking to my buddy in radio, and he was saying you can get a good phone or a good microphone for about $100, and it sure would be nice to have a better sounding voice for the rest of the documentary. And yeah, it's going to be a little choppy in the beginning because I'm not redoing it. That's a lot of work. There's no way I can redo it. But that is a need that we're definitely in need of with the documentary. But I'll go at it with these things. This is what I've been recording for the documentary. I have to, because it's so low, it doesn't get good audio. So what I'll do is I'll have to put it into my camera app, and then I click record, and then I speak. And then I have to put it into my video editor, and then I have to amplify the audio, and that's why it sounds so tingy. So there's that. But man, we were able to get on site, and the map of this place, everything has numbers and everything has names, except for the Epstein cabin. They've changed the name of that 3 times. It was the Jeffrey Epstein Scholarship Lodge, and then they changed it 2 more times. And in the documentary, before I show the cabin, I'm going to show how to find the cabin. I pray in the mighty name of Jesus, and I'm telling you guys this now, because I'm not going to say it later on, nor will I say it after the documentary is released. So listen up. One of my goals is to put enough pressure on this place to destroy that cabin and bulldoze it. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Absolutely. Amen, Laura. I like that. She says, no better disinfectant than sunlight for their evil deeds, brother. Yep. Let's shine it. Let's shine that darkness into the light. Let's shine that darkness into the light. People can hate me all across the board, but they ain't going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. There's people, I've had people say, why does he always expose that stuff? Why does he always on that? Well, because it's the forefront. I really do. I believe it's the forefront. if you want to hit the devil and kick the devil in his balls, excuse my language, I apologize. But if you want to kick the devil in his teeth, okay, to expose the religious side of this thing, but then couple it with the information that's coming out, but this is the core of the satanic religion and even paganism, Wicca, all that stuff. It is the core of it. It is the core of it. And it's not just the sexual abuse, it's also the physical and violent abuse. It's the physical and violent abuse. I shared last night a little bit during my live that I deleted because I really went off and I just needed a vent, and it wasn't something that was intended to stay up. But I was beaten really bad as a kid, and my babysitter, she had a belt that had a belt buckle on it, and she would crack that thing across my legs and my hindquarters, and you should see the scars. I won't, obviously I'm not going to show you, but you should see the scars. Leave it to the victims to stand up for the children. And where are all these tough men at that talk tough? Where are they at? I see rarely any men involved in exposing child sex trafficking. Very rarely. Very rarely. And it's like, leave it to the abused people and the abused women to stand up for themselves. That's insane to me. Who can sleep when they've had a chance to stand up for the children and didn't? Strange to me, to say the least. Strange to me. But we're going to keep doing it, and I'm excited about it because I'm excited. I'll be honest with you, and I've admitted this publicly. One of my fleshly problems is watching pedophiles get beat up pretty good, pretty good. And but I have to learn not to take joy in that, and take more joy in seeing these people get their comeuppance with, or getting arrested. It really, the whole live today, I seen that, they in Sydney, Australia, they busted these guys that were doing things to children, but it had a satanic setting. And I was trying to tell people, like, hey, this is absolutely the core of their religion. Satanism is hurting kids. There's a clip I would show if it wasn't so graphic and if the public could handle it, but they couldn't. But I'll tell you, and I don't suggest going and watching it because it is rather disturbing. And it's that movie by Stephen King that's supposed to be the sequel to The Shining, and it's called Dr. Sleep. And in that, they full-blown show what they do to children. And it's just right out in the open. Right out in the open. And then in that, what is it? Let me see here. I can maybe show you screenshots of this other movie. I'm not going to show Dr. Sleep because it's just too much. But so right here, give me a moment coming back here because you need to see this. And this is Johnny Depp. In the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. If you see this right here and you see this red liquid that he's holding, this is adrenochrome. And they have literally put it in the movie. And when he takes it, he starts having this satanic trip. And I mean, it's full-blown evil. And just the whole movie is about just the drugs and all that stuff. And There's even a connection to my investigation that I actually just remembered, and I'm gonna have to write it down. So please give me a moment. Be patient with me here, please. Give me a moment. Hold on 1 second. Now I gotta find something to write with. Because sometimes you forget little details, and it's always good to keep notes when you're investigating something, and then that way you can go back and you can highlight it. And I mean, like, dude, you should see all the pads of paper I have that have notes in it to try to keep it. But yeah, they're literally telling you what they do. Yeah. And it literally shows, hold on. I'm just gonna show you. Yeah, it doesn't even pull it up, but it's that he sees the devil in everything. Like when he takes the adrenochrome right here. And what's interesting is as well is in this movie they talk about pimping out an underage girl. Johnny Depp, who's taking the adrenochrome, is pimping out an underage girl, or is talking to this guy about pimping out an underage girl in this movie. And there's people that like this movie, that enjoy this movie, that it's entertainment for them. And this is also where the band Avenged Sevenfold named their song Backcountry after. And I know because I'm a metalhead. This is what they named it after. Backcountry. Let's listen to the lyrics of Backcountry. You want, or not listen, but I'm going to read them to you. Hold on, give me a moment. I want you to hear this. Get ready for this, right? Are you ready? And so as I'm showing you this here, all right, this is the lyrics from a band named Avenged Sevenfold, and this is the lyrics to their song that's named after Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Hold on, let's go back here for a second. All right, it's named after, or it's made after this movie, because as they're riding into Las Vegas in the beginning movie, he's like, there's bats everywhere. It's bat country, because he's high as a kite. And this is the lyrics. Get ready. This is a little rough here. He who makes a beast out of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man. Caught here in a fiery blaze, won't lose my will to stay. I tried to drive all through the night, the heat stroke ridden weather, the barren empty sights. No oasis here to see, the sand is singing deathless words to me. Can't you help me as I'm starting to burn all alone? Too many doses, and I'm starting to get an attraction. My confidence is leaving me on my own, all alone. No one can save me, and you know I don't want the attention. Well, it sounds like you want attention. As I adjust to my new sights, the rarely tired lights will take me to new heights. Honestly, like, as a person who writes lyrics, that sounds stupid. My hand is on the trigger. I'm ready to ignite. Wonder what that's about. Tomorrow might not make it, but everything's all right. Mental fiction, follow me. Show me what it's like to be set free. Can't you help me as I'm starting to burn? And it goes through the chorus again. And it says, so sorry you're not here. I've been chained too long. My vision's so unclear. Now take a trip with me. A trip on what? Maybe adrenochrome, because this is named Backcountry. And I think the CD itself is named The Beast and the Harlot, I believe. Or City of Evil. It's called City of Evil. And that would probably be Las Vegas, is what I'm assuming. It says here, caught here in a fiery blaze, won't lose my will to stay. These eyes won't see the same after I flip today. Sometimes I don't know why we'd rather live than die. We look up towards the sky for answers to our lives. We may get some solutions, but most just pass us by. Don't want your absolution because I can't make it right. I'll make a beast out of myself. Yeah, gets rid of the pain of being a man. Can't you help me as I'm starting to burn? And it goes through that again, the chorus. And it says, so sorry you're not here. I've been sane too long. My vision's so unclear. Now take a trip with me, but don't be surprised when things aren't what they seem. I've known it from the start. All these good ideas will tear your brain apart. Scared, but you can follow me. I'm too weird to live, but much too rare to die, is what it says. And that's a song that was written about this. I mean, these are Satanists telling you what they're going to do to you. These are Satanists telling you what they're doing and what they're doing. So what's interesting is the guy that filmed this, and this is going to be very hard to hear. So buckle up, Buttercup. Tanya, I'll explain it to you later, sister. I got your back. I'll explain it in a way that isn't too intense. Actually, you know what? We'll talk about it in a moment. But so the guy that filmed this, his name is Hunter S. Thompson. Give me a moment here. I'm gonna make some connections. Let's go down the rabbit hole together, huh? Let's go down the rabbit hole together, you know. All right, ready? Bringing back I'm going to stop this screen. Share screen. Now, this is an Illuminati card called the Weird Turn Pro. And if you notice the flavor text on the card, when the going gets weird, the Weird Turn Pro. Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. They used a quote in the Illuminati card game from the same people. It's the same guy that made this movie, Hunter S. Thompson, and is the same guy that Paul Bonacci he was a victim of a snuff film, and he was used by elite pedophiles in a snuff film at Bohemian Grove. There was a young boy involved that was probably around the age of 7 years old that did not make it. And there were two older teenagers, one being Paul Bonacci. All right. And Paul Bonacci won a lawsuit and ended up getting like $1 million. Like, what he went through was real. It was proven in a court of law. And he said that oh, dear Jesus, I don't know if I should say this or not. That the director that filmed the snuff film was the one that did the snuffing while filming. It was one of the most brutal deaths that you can possibly imagine. And no, it wasn't lighting someone on fire. It had something to do with doing something to someone until they bled out from a certain place. I'm telling you the truth. And that man that did that to that little boy and filmed that snuff film was Hunter S. Thompson. And Hunter S. Thompson said something about this movie that connects to my investigation of a high-up pedophile ring. And I'm telling you, I'm in it. Man. I'm on to something big here. And I'm making connections that nobody else has made. I've not seen any connections like this. And even, like I said, even Gray was taken back by what I told him. And he's like, you know, he's all in. And I'm not all about, like, I'm not this person that needs the glory from any of this. I don't. I want God to have it. But honestly, if we can stand united and show them that we're united and that we're not divided, and show them that we're out in force, that is where it's at. That is where it's at. To show them we ain't scared of them. You know how Macaulay Culkin, comes out of the house when he's home alone. He's like, I ain't afraid no more. I ain't afraid no more. You know what? I'm not afraid no more. They don't scare me. They don't shiver my timbers. And that part in the documentary when Marv and whatever his name is, the other guy that was the robbers that were coming in on Home Alone in the first movie, they acted like it was a shotgun. It was just a pump BB gun. But, Macaulay Culkin goes, all right, now don't get scared. That's where we're at right now. I actually saw a documentary where they put that segment in there, and I've thought about, as I transition into the difficult things in my documentary, to put that there. But I'm not out for shock value. I've probably said more here than what I would put in a documentary, not to shock people or scare people, but to let people know this stuff's real and it's everywhere. And it's right in their faces. It's right out in the open. I just got to learn to stay in my lane. I got to learn to stay in my lane and not veer off to the right and left. I get too distracted. Doing anything else. Got a place that I can go to hear the word of God and that I trust. And that's and I'll show you here. That's Arrow Ministries. These guys are the real deal. I'm going to see if anybody subscribes since we said something. Quick. No one subscribed yet. Sure would be cool, though, if people would. Johnny and Linda deserve it. Really good people. But yeah, I mean, right there, it's in the stinking Illuminati card game too. Hunter S. Thompson right here. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Hunter S. Thompson. I think he shot himself in the long run, or they say he did. We're gonna kill yourself. I think that's what they told Chester Bennington. I think that was pretty well known. Yeah, Haley, they're awesome people over there. They deserve every subscriber they get. Every single subscriber they get. I was told that, how like in Walmart they used to have the missing children, and I don't know if they still do, but I was told last night by someone in the know that they stopped that because they figured out that it was a place for people to bid on children. It was actually, no, they're not tarot cards. They're it's a company called Steve Jackson Games. It's a game. It's a trading card game. Give me a moment. I'll pull it up for you guys. Hold on, just to show you. So this is what tarot cards look like. Hold on, just so that way you know what they look like. These are tarot cards. Okay, right here. This is what tarot cards look like. These are tarot cards. 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 These are tarot cards right there. Okay, that's what a tarot card looks like. All right. Now the Illuminati card game. All right, is a card game. All right. And the artwork on the card game has predictive programming of what the Illuminati's plans are. Kind of like this one. Does this one look familiar? Or these two? Do these two look familiar? You see what I'm trying to say? Right there. This came out before 9/11. These came out before 9/11. And, I mean, there's all sorts of cards. I mean, there's thousands of them. Thousands of them. And it's kind of like Pokemon, but not Pokemon. See, quarantine card. We went through a pandemic quarantine. Combined disasters. Charismatic leader. This one's martial law. This one has Donald Trump on it. Enough is enough. And then they've come out with new sets like these. These are the newer cards right here. In fact, you know what? I haven't ever shown anybody this, but give me a moment here. I got to look something up here. Hold on. All right, give me a moment here. I don't think I've ever shown people this. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to it. Whoops. All right, hold on here. Trying to figure this out. Share screen, window, share. All right, so these are new Illuminati cards. These are ones that have never been seen before. I've been analyzing them for a long time. There's some that are older ones that have been mixed into this because, the Illuminati does what they do. But these are new Illuminati cards that have never been seen. Let me make sure that everybody can see it full screen here. And let me make sure that, okay. These are some of the older ones here. See how they have the subliminal sex and the ice and the ice cream? Look at that one. Huh, that's interesting. He went from smiling, because they have change-ups too in the Illuminati card game now because they've changed a few things. I don't think King Charles is the Antichrist. I really don't. He looks pretty unhappy. Looks pretty unhappy. Look at that. Interesting, huh? Look at this. Human traffickers. These are new Illuminati cards that most people have never seen before. Ever. Some of these are older. Conventions. I know a few people that have had a convention. North Korea. That's a new card. The United Nations. That's a new one. Furries. That's a new one. Yoga studios. Interesting. Crystal healers. But the dude's as sick as a dog. Because it don't work. They're pretty, but that's it. They're God's creation, but that's it. Look at that. I wonder what it says, an attack right here. It says an attack right here. And this is, this looks very similar to that movie Civil War in the beginning scene in that new movie Civil War. The big score. And this is some Neuralink type of stuff here, where you're using your glasses as the screen. You can use your eyes to, do all the work. Really weird. That's got to be a mind screw, I'll tell you. Black Friday, that's a new one right there. Participation trophy. You made it weird. You made it weird. I wonder what that means. Yeah, so those are just some. I'm not going to show them all now. But those are new Illuminati cards just while we were on the subject. But, the Illuminati card game is a predictive programming trading card game. I actually have the majority of the sets. I'll show you. Give me a moment here. If, you know what? Actually, let me have a, you know what? We'll play a song while I have a bathroom break, if that's okay with everybody. I need a bathroom break. And when I come back, I'm going to show you the different sets of the Illuminati card game. That is something I can do. So, but I will play a song to keep y'all busy. I'll do something that's a little more easy listening. Give me a moment here to get to it. All right, give me a moment here. I'm going to pull this up for you guys to listen to. Just some 80s music until I come back while I'm on a bathroom break. We'll let the song finish out, you know, and everybody just hurry up, go take a bathroom, get your coffee filled. I'll play for the song that just play the song for people that just want to hang out. So, all right, here we go.
Shaking has begun. The trap door's been shut. There's nowhere to run. The last cord's been cut. We are in a free fall. The rug pulled out from beneath. The world's engine has stalled. It's getting hard to breathe. We have to take it back. No more messing around. We aren't giving no slack. Let all darkness be bound. Propaganda for the masses. Turn them on each other as our society collapses. God's people get tougher. We have to take it back. No more messing around. We aren't giving no slack. Let all darkness be bound. We have to take it back. No more messing around. We aren't giving no slack. Let all darkness be bound. Are you willing to do what it takes? Praying down on your knees until society awakes. Don't let them divide. So much is at stake. That's why Christ died. Something's gonna break. We have to take it back. No more messing around. We aren't giving no slack. Let all darkness be bound. We have to take it back. No more messing around. We aren't giving no slack. Let all darkness be bound. We have to take it back, no more messing around. We aren't giving no slack, let all darkness be bound.
All right, and we're back. Hold on 1 second. All right, so we're just going to kind of go over, I guess, the history of the Illuminati card game. I'll shoot it to you straight. I'll give it to you absolutely straight. All right. There's a lot here, so buckle up. So the Illuminati card game does have a foundation. Hold on, I still got to grab something. Hold on 1 second. The Illuminati card game does have a foundation that it started upon. Okay. And it's definitely important to understand that foundation before we move on to the actual Illuminati card game. All right. And so this is the foundation of the Illuminati card game right here. The Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Shea and Robert Anton Wilson. Robert Anton Wilson was the columnist writer for Playboy magazine. Yes, the same magazine that abused Brooke Shields in front of the whole entire country of America and the world. I can't believe her mom would let a young lady be in Playboy magazine. Absolutely satanic, right? But so these guys that had a young girl in Playboy magazine fully nude, okay, Brooke Shields, who was also went into that movie Blue Lagoon or Black Lagoon or something like that. I can't remember which one it was. But she was also underage in that, where they showed her topless. These guys were the ones that put her in Playboy magazine, with Hugh Hefner and all that. So that's where it started. Then it went to Masks of the Illuminati, Robert Anton Wilson. Then it went to the historical Illuminatus, which is the widow's son. That's a very specific phrase, the widow's son. And then you have the historical Illuminatus, the earth will shake. All right. And then you have the historical Illuminatus Chronicles right here. All right. So that is how the Illuminati card game got started. All right. So now the first sets that came out within the Illuminati card game, these are reprints. They're not the originals. Okay. And it's getting really hard to find this stuff. It really is. This was the original Illuminati card game in its first release, its first form. Okay. And in it, give me a second. Figure out how to open this damn thing. Okay. In it, hold on 1 second. Take this stuff out of here. Whoa. Okay, the cards are not in here on this one. That's in another one. Give me a moment here. Sorry about this. Probably the heaviest one. Could be this one, probably. Yep, right here. Okay, so these are the original Illuminati cards right here. This is what they looked like. This is what it started as. Just little symbols on little tiny mini cards. And this is what they put out after the Illuminatus. Okay. And they went and they came out with, wait, this was the first one right here. This was the first one. Sorry. Expansion set 1. Or no, this was the first one. Then it's this one. And then it's this one right here. Expansion set 2. In this, I think I have it in here. Give me a moment. Oh, maybe it's this one. Could be in another box because I just throw the stuff in there, But then there's this. Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. Then there's this that was in a bag. It comes in a bag, not a box, but this was expansion set 3. Those were the first original sets of the Illuminati card game. All mini cards, like I showed you, black and white. All right. Now, then came out after that, or actually what happened after that. And let me look it up because I want to make sure that I'm doing this accurately, and I'm just going to read to you what I find. So give me a moment here. Hold on 1 second. Give me a moment here. So, on March 1st in 1990, there was a raid on Steve Jackson Games, SJG, a small tabletop game publisher in Austin, Texas. Like I said, it happened on March 1st, 1990, and it was a botched operation by the United States Secret Service tied to a broader crackdown on early computer hackers. No arrests were made at Steve Jackson Games. No charges were ever filed against the company or its founder, Steve Jackson. And the whole thing stemmed from sloppy investigation tactics and misunderstandings about what constituted hacking tools. The incident became a landmark for digital rights. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Give me a moment here because I didn't look something up. Give me a moment. I have to redo this here. Give me a moment. All right, we're going to start this over. All right, again, so we'll start this here, okay? On March 1st, 1990, the offices of Steve Jackson Games, a small tabletop game publisher in Austin, Texas, were raided by the United States Secret Service, the same people that made that Illuminati card game. This wasn't some dramatic Hollywood bust. It was part of a broader federal push against early computer hackers and phone freaks, people who manipulated phone systems for free calls or mischief. No one at Steve Jackson Games was arrested that day, and the company wasn't even the main target. But the raid shut down their operations for months, nearly bankrupted them, and sparked a landmark lawsuit that helped birth modern digital rights protections. Here's the breakdown step by step. The trigger was in early 1990. The Secret Service was investigating a high-profile case involving the hacker magazine Frack issue number 24 from January 1990, including an article by Craig Nydorf, aka Night Lightning, a 19-year-old college student who published what he claimed was a leaked internal document from Bell South, the E911 document. This was a 25-page text file detaining the enhanced 911 emergency phone systems, including how it routed calls and handled databases. Nydorf and Frack co-editor Robert J. Riggs had obtained it from a Bell South mainframe. Riggs hacked in and borrowed it for $1,200, ironically the cost of a legitimate copy, so they could have just bought it. Why it mattered, hold on, give me a moment here. Bell South hyped the document as super secret, claiming it was worth $79,499 to produce and could let hackers crash 9/11 systems nationwide. In reality, it was a bland technical maneuver available for purchase with no real hacking secrets. But the case was a PR win for phone companies and feds, who portrayed it as a national security threat. Nydorf was arrested in Illinois, and this is where you get the movie Hackers from, okay? You know, Zero Cool. I don't know if you guys can see this here, but you guys remember Zero Cool, Hack the Planet, right? Okay. And that's where that movie came from. All right. Niedorf was arrested in Illinois, facing up to 31 years and $1 million in fines. Charges later dropped after a judge ruled the document wasn't proprietary. All right. The connection to Steve Jackson Games entered Lloyd Blankenship, a.k.a. Lord Digital, a 27-year-old Steve Jackson Games employee and freelance writer. Blankenship ran a popular bulletin board system, BBS, an early online forum accessed via dial-up modem from his home called the Phoenix Project. It was a hub for hackers, including members of the elite group Legion of Doom. Someone posted the E911 file to Phoenix in February 1990. Blankenship didn't create it or edit it, but reposted it to Frack's distribution network. Secret Service agents led by Timothy Foley traced it there and saw Blankenship's ties to Steve Jackson Games. He moderated the company's own bulletin board system called Illuminati. All right. They got a warrant on February 28th, suspecting a hacker ring. At around 7:30 a.m. on March 1st, 6 armed Secret Service agents, including Foley and Timothy Golden, Austin police, and a Southwestern Bell expert, Henry Klupfel, hit Blankenship's home first. They seized his computer, printer, phone, and disks, which would be floppy disks, waking him and his wife in the process. You could see this kind of in that movie Hackers. I actually have a VHS copy of it. Really good movie. All right. Anyways, waking him and his wife, and most people don't even know. I mean, raise your hand if you didn't know Hackers was about this. Like, the whole entire, thing, okay, was made after that, or made after this event, right? So they seized his computers, printer, phone, and floppy disk, waking him and his wife in the process. Blankenship, monitoring police scanners, raced to Steve Jackson Games' office. He had keys to prevent a forced entry. Agents arrived minutes later, tore through the building, cutting locks, ripping open boxes, prying cabinets, damaging a letter opener, and even allegedly eating jelly beans from desks. No one was questioned or arrested, just searched. I wonder what they were looking for, everybody. Was it really hacking information, or was it maybe the Illuminati card game? 3 computers, including the one running the Illuminati bulletin board system, 2 laser printers, 3 modems, monitors, over 300 floppy disks, loose hard drives, power cords, and even a bag of screws and bolts from Blankenship's home. Similar gear plus personal files. Critically, they grabbed the near complete manuscript for GURPS Cyberpunk, a role-playing game that was developed by Steve Jackson Games, that Blankenship was writing for them. Generic Universal Role-Playing System is what GURPS means. Generic Universal Role-Playing System. All right, basically like their version of Dungeons and Dragons, but they do like sci-fi and cyberpunk and all this stuff. It described fictional cyberpunk worlds, high-tech, low-life dystopias, inspired by William Gibson's Neuromancer, with sections on hacking culture, net running, and virtual reality. Agents later called it a handbook for computer crime. The Illuminati bulletin board system seizure was Steve Jackson Games' public dial-up forum. It was launched in 1988 with 1,000 users. 1,000 users. It hosted game discussions, e.g. GURPS Old West, playtests, and private emails, precursor to modern forums like Reddit. Its login banner jokingly read, "Greetings, mortal. You have entered the secret computer system of the Illuminati, the online home of the world's oldest and largest secret conspiracy." It even gives out the phone number for this. It was fronted by Steve Jackson Games Incorporated, FNORD. FNORD is a Discordian joke from the Illuminatus trilogy. This book that I just showed you here. All right. This book that I just showed you here, that's where you figure out what FNORD is. And as you get into the Illuminati card game, you'll find out that FNORD is a common occurrence in the Illuminati card game. All right. Now, FNORD actually, and it could be this way, it could be that way, it could be this way, it could be that way, it could be this way, it could be that way, it could be upside down, it could be reversed, okay? But anywhere in, like, say, documentation, like, say, the news or online or anything like that, they actually have, it actually supposed to cause anxiety and fear is what Fnord means. It's a trigger word. Like MK Ultra, you have these trigger words, okay? Likewise, you have these, sight, sound, colors, smells. Anybody who's a victim knows what I'm talking about, okay? All right. And so that's where that came from. Now, give me a moment here. So it was named after Steve Jackson Games' 1982 satirical card game, Illuminati, parodying conspiracy theories like the Trilateral Commission controlling the world, which they do. It had zero hacker content, seizing the server, wiped all files, emails, and playtest notes, violating users' privacy under the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, ECPA, of 1986. Agents read and deleted private messages without warrants or warrants for individuals. All right, Steve Jackson Games was prepping GURP Cyberpunk for a March release, vital cash flow for a debt-ridden company near bankruptcy. I don't feel a bit sorry for him. The raid halted printing, erased drafts, forcing a rewrite from memory notes, and killed Illuminati. I'm going to tell you, we're getting somewhere here. We're getting somewhere. Cutting off fan engagement. Steve Jackson Games laid off halts. It's 20 staff. Steve Jackson's who was the founder, was in Chicago at a game convention, learning via frantic calls what was going on, that the feds promised returns tomorrow. It took until March 26th for partial files copied by lawyers, and June 21st for most hardware. They kept one disc printouts. Now, when it comes down to it, where did I just set that? I just had it. Okay, so when it comes down to it, they actually had to find people that owned this game personally that they sold it to. Hold on. Whoa, wait. Did Jenny get the job? Oh, prayers that Jenny gets the job. Amen. I was about to be like, woo! I was excited for her. Hold on one second. So they had to find the people that owned the card game to scan the cards. And this is, like I said, the original Illuminati card game set. And there was 3 sets of cards right here. This is the whole entire set from beginning to end. That was in the 1980s where it was released. Okay, so they had to find people that actually owned the card game and say, hey, can we borrow this and scan this? So that way they could make this. And it took them a long time to make these original Illuminati card game sets that were from the 80s, that were the original sets that came from the book, the Illuminatus trilogy right here. Is everything I'm saying making sense so far? Am I getting all the gaps filled? I want to make sure people are learning here, because there's nobody I've never seen a video like this ever. And honestly, I might take this, edit it, and clip it out, and then just put it up as like the history of the Illuminati card game. I'm laying it out pretty good here, getting into the nitty gritty. Okay. So, Steve Jackson Games in April 1990 and 4 Illuminati users sued the Secret Service under the Privacy Protection Act in 1980, the ECPA, and Stored Communications Act, backed by the newly formed Electronic Frontier Foundation that was founded in July 1990, partly due to this raid. So this raid sparked a lot of controversy. It was a big deal. They argued a legal seizure of unpublished work in private comms. A trial in 1993 in Texas, Judge Sam Sparks slammed the Secret Service for sloppy warrants. There's a reason. Ignorance of laws and zero evidence against Steve Jackson Games. He noted Jackson's post-raid revival of the company and called for agent education on statutes. Give me a moment here. Steve Jackson Games won $300,000 plus in damages, compensation for lost revenue and hardware. It it was ruled that seizing unpublished manuscripts without criminal suspicion violates free speech, press rights, reading, deleting unread BBS, which is bulletin board system emails, equals illegal interception. No criminal charges against Steve Jackson Games, Blankenship, because he got immunity for testimony. Nydorf's case collapsed. All right. Precedent for online privacy is what came out of this. That's the legacy it left behind. Inspired EFF's fight against overreach. The GURP Cyberpunk shipped in 1980 with a badge. The book was seized by the U.S. Secret Service. It credits unsolicited comments, the United States Secret Service. This wasn't Operation Sun Devil, okay, a May 1990 hacker sweep. Media often confuses them, but it exposed the Fed's tactics. Broad warrants, phone company lobbying, and panic over cyberpunk as code for crime. So the Illuminati BBS wasn't collateral, it was ground zero. All right. This is where we get into the conspiracy of it. Okay. All right. The raid's absurdity, the RPGs and crime manuals fueled decades of theories amplified by Steve Jackson Games' Illuminati-themed games. These range from plausible overreach to tinfoil hat fever dreams. No hard proof for most, all right? So they're just theories, but they're substantiated by the raid's sloppiness and cultural ripple. All right, the Illuminati bulletin board system wasn't collateral, it was ground zero. Its secret society login spooked feds into thinking Steve Jackson Games hosted a literal Illuminati network of elite hackers plotting world domination. Blankenship, being an ex-hacker with Lord of Death or League of Doom ties, was moderating conspiracy chats that predicted real events. Seizing it let agents scrub evidence of Fed infiltration or deeper plots. Some claim the E911 doc was bait to justify the hit. The bulletin board system did discuss conspiracies, e.g. Discordianism, the Illuminatus trilogy, like I told you. But playfully, Judge Sparks noted agents fixated on the banner, ignoring it was satire. It's not satire. It's not satire. All right. Give me a moment here. Steve Jackson, they called it predictive programming, and that Steve Jackson Games knew too much about shadow governments, so feds silenced it. So, I mean, that's kind of the rough gist. Now, let's move forward with the Illuminati card game. After that set in the 1980s, then they released this set right here. This is the set that everybody talks about. This is the set that everybody's got pictures of. Even the card I just showed you. Give me a moment here. Just throwing the card out there so that way you see it. So these original cards like this right here, that design that you see normally, like these that you see normally, okay, come from this set. All right. Now, this set, it says one with everything, which is weird, okay? But look at this. On the front, on the top, it says Illuminati New World Order, one with everything. Now, check this out. Because Satan's a reversal, what does that say? It says omni. Omni what? Omnipotent? Having foreknowledge of the future? Omni? So this is the set that came out after the original sets. Now, I'm going to try to do this as best as I can. There is one set I can't show you. Actually, I forgot to show you this. I got to be careful here because I got to make sure it doesn't spill everywhere. But after Steve Jackson Games, okay, was raided, all right, they created Hacker, the computer crime card game, as a snub in the face of the Secret Service. And then, after that, they released Hacker, the Dark Side. This would be their version of the dark web that even existed back in the day. The dark web's always been there. All right? And so they released those as a snub in the face to the U.S. Secret Service for doing what they did. All right? And there is one set that I don't have in its entirety. and it takes a lot of money because you have to buy the packs, and they come in a big box. All right. Like where they got 60 packs or whatever, I think is in a box, and it's called Illuminati Assassins. That came out after this. Okay, right here, this one right here, this set. All right. Illuminati Assassins came out after that. So after Illuminati Assassins, they released this Illuminati New World Order Subgenius. This is the set that has the Rapture cards in it. The one that's called the Church of Middle America card, and also the Tape Runs Out card are in this set. After that, give me a moment. After that, they came out with this Illuminati Crime Lords. Most people have never even heard of this. This is a standalone set. It does not need the rest of the cards to be played. I've never played the game, but I know about it. But this set was released after the Subgenius set. Okay? Then, after that, they redid the whole entire thing, and they released the Illuminati, the Game of Conspiracy Deluxe Edition. This is the Deluxe Edition. All right? They took the cards. Hold on one second. No. I'm trying to find. Give me a moment here. You're going to have to give me a moment here. Hold on. Should have been a little more prepared for this part here. Good gravy. Oh, okay. I do have this. I saved them. So this would be, these are empty, but these are the sets for Illuminati Assassins that came after this one right here. Okay. So these would be the ones that come after that, Illuminati Assassins. All right. Hold on. This is going to be difficult. Oh, no. Yeah, it's got to be in one of these boxes. Just give me a moment here, people. Like that. Okay, here we go. So, they released this one, like I said, getting back to this, all right? And then after that came out the Illuminati Y2K set. This was in addition to this set. What I'm about to show you is all in additions that were added on. So they have this, then they had Illuminati Y2K, and then they had Bavarian Fire Drill, okay? And then there's one that came in a pack of cards, and it's just a small amount of cards. There's like 20-something cards. And it was called Mutual Assured Distraction. They also had other boosters that they put out like this. Oh, did you see my screen glitch out, man? So, right here, okay, the Illuminati New World Order Unlimited Edition Booster Pack, they sold these eventually as well. So that way people that wanted to build different decks and get all creative with it. Now, I'll show you this. Most people have never seen this. This is an original store ad for the Illuminati card game right here. Okay? It says, I'll just read it to you. It says, Illuminati New World Order is the trading card game of secret conspiracies and worldwide weirdness. If you like the original Illuminati game, you'll love the new version. This store is reporting directly to the secret masters. It's a hotbed of competing conspiracies, happy to cooperate with our evil plans because they're getting rich off our card sales. An unwitting dupe that thinks it's all a joke. Top 12 reasons to try Illuminati New World Order. Number 12, you can play right away. A single starter deck set has the right cards to let you get started, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the flavor text underneath. It's a hit. Mr. Suitcase is not welcome. The backs match. The art is weird and beautiful. It's brutal. It's hilarious. We support it. Says Steve Jackson Games is behind Illuminati New World Order with tournaments, a worldwide web page, expansions, and covert lobbying and washing. Oops, never mind is what it says. It says it works. All the cards are good for something. Hold on 1 second. It's all real. Every game gives you a different picture of the real truth, and they're all twisted. Use your orbital mind control lasers to turn the FBI completely criminal and have them take over New York, no problem. And it says right here, you'll get to destroy the IRS. Steve Jackson Games at the bottom right there. Most people have never even seen that poster. Hold on 1 second. So yeah, and then they released a magazine. They would come out with the magazine, and the magazine was called Pyramid, right? And I got this one because of the Illuminati New World Order Assassins Designers Notes are in this. I don't know if I can find it right off the bat. Hold on. So they even have a German version that most people don't even know exists. Illuminati. It's all in German, and there is specific cards. Look at that artwork at the bottom. The writing at the bottom, that's the artwork on one of their cards. That is one of the cards that is only for the German version. And also this lady, that's a hoochie mama. All right. Those artworks only come on the German version. Okay. But it says right here, Fnord. You see how they put that in there? Fnord. Did you notice that at first when I was holding it up? Did you notice that it said Fnord? Right? And so it's got, hold on 1 second. I mean, they haven't, look at this nastiness. They even have this thing called Camp Mangala. Joseph Mangala. That's disgusting, man. Sorry about that. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, hold on. I'm going back here. Right here. It's got all the notes for the Assassins set. All right. Right there. So, then they came out with, give me a moment here. We're not done. Then they came out with this new set. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to organize here. Okay. All right. Okay. Then they came out with a new set, and this is the second edition of the Illuminati card game. They're completely changing the artwork, kind of dumbing it down a little bit. You can see some of the way the cards look on the back. Completely different. Completely different. But there are cards that are absolutely still happening. Each set has its own cards that they have plans set to rock and roll. And then after that, the final set, I think this is the final set. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the final set that they've most recently released. It's called Alternative Truths. Take a look at that picture and you tell me what that means. The black is white and the white is black. See what I'm saying? So there's that. So, I mean, I have a stack of stuff here, but I have all of this in my possession, and I have a lot of it memorized because it's, oh, and there's also these two. Well, I won't get into this part yet. So, anyways, you know, you kind of get the idea how expansive the Illuminati card game is, you know, and it's really far out there. Hey, Joppy, love you, brother. You know, it's really far out there, and there's predictive programming in the cards. They're not tarot cards. And again, I'll show you tarot cards real quick, just so that way you can see them. Because everybody gets it mixed up. You have people that will lie to their audience and say that the Illuminati card game is tarot cards, and it is not. And I'll tell you something here. Give me a moment. I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to search something else out here for you so you see. They're so far from actual tarot cards. These are actual tarot cards. All right, there's no instructions on them, nothing like that. They're not a trading card game. This is fortune telling. All right, but these are different card games. Now, where they get it mixed up is this set right here, the Illuminati Tarot card deck. All right, and if you look at the cards, they're nothing like the Illuminati card game. Right there. They're nothing like the Illuminati card game. Not a bit. Not even close. So there you have basically the full history of the Illuminati card game from its conception, how it started, and, where it's at right now. But I can show you this real quick. Give me a moment. Hold on. I got to pull this up real quick. And like I was showing you earlier, and we'll just pull up the one card. Give me a moment here. Hold on. Share screen. These are the new Illuminati cards. And I'm not going to talk about where to find these because I'm still looking into it and all that stuff. So I just haven't had time to get to it. But these are the new Illuminati cards. And yes, they've come out with an entirely new set that most people don't even have a clue exists. So, I mean, you can go through, like some of them are the older ones, like the little gray cards, like I showed you. Some are the originals. So they kind of mix it all up. But then there's actual new ones like this. You see? And it just keeps going and going. Keeps going and going and going. There you have it. Yep, absolutely, Kimmy B. Absolutely. Yeah, tarot cards are not the same as the Illuminati card game. Far from it. Far from it. It's just got artwork that has predictive programming on it, and some of the flavor text will put little subliminal numbers and things like that for dates, and they always got to throw the little 666s in there and all that crap. But and I'm going to say this to everybody, and this isn't meant to be harsh, but this is for my haters, people that want to hate on me. Give me a moment here. This thing right here is interesting. The dollar bill. Hold on. Whoops. Whoops. Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out here. How do I get this to be bigger, like full scale? Nope. That wasn't good. We don't want to do that. All right, anyways, so let's go through this, right? Because I want to show people if they want to come down on me for having the Illuminati card game to expose it. Let me show you how evil the dollar bill is in your pocket. So we're not counting serial numbers. We're not counting serial numbers, okay? Or these black numbers that change, or the green numbers, serial numbers that change. We're not counting those. We're looking at fixed ones. 1, 2, 3. It says the word 1. That always counts. 3, 4, 5, 6. There are no more ones on the front of the dollar bill. Now, you're going to notice some symbolism here. I'm trying to do this. All right. Now you have, we're going by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then you have 15, 16. And then at the bottom of the pyramid, there's a 1. That's 17. And then at the eagle's mouth, there's unum. In Latin, that means 1. Okay, that is a 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Okay, now, okay, if you look at the top of the eagle's head, there's a 13 stars. There's 13 stars that make up a 6-pointed star. The key is the circle around it. It's not to be confused with the Star of David, which they've tried to pervert. Okay, they actually, when you take a circle around it, there's other things you do to it, but it turns it into a hexagram, which is the most vile and satanic of all symbols that exist because it's a perversion, right? It's super evil. It's actually more evil than the pentagram. Now, if you notice, there's a 6-pointed star up at the top of, and it's not an eagle, it's a phoenix. I'll get to that in a moment. But then there's another 6-pointed star. If you go from the top of the star down to the talons, over the other talon, back up, from wingtip to wingtip down to the tail feathers, you have another 6-pointed star. Now, this is very key with this part here. You have to start at the M at the bottom of the pyramid. You go up to the A, M-A, over to the S, M-A-S, down to the O, M-A-S-O, back up and over to the N, and in perfect succession, it spells Mason. All right? And there's another 6-pointed star with a circle around it. 6 plus 6 plus 6. There's 2 666s on the dollar bill. So if you want to come down on me for exposing the Illuminati card game and having it in my possession to be able to expose it to people, then I highly suggest you get rid of every bit of money you have in your possession because it is all demonic. Let me see if I can find this here, because I'll be honest with you, it's a little messy. I ain't gonna lie right here, okay? Hold on. Where'd this come from? Like brass knuckle slingshot? I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know if I can find it, y'all. I don't know if I can find it. We'll try. I'm not gonna do that. Hold on. Come on. So anyways, if you fold the dollar bill or the $2 bill, sorry, a certain way, and I've shown this before, okay? If you fold a $2 bill a certain way, you will find the Bohemian Grove owl on the back of it. It's all evil and satanic. All right, now, if you look and the squiggly lines all the way around, like going over here, okay, if you look at all the squiggly lines that are right here, would you think that there is owls with their wings open? You see the brow of the owl, the chest, the feet on a post, with its wings spread open. Now, do you see that here? You see the owl with his wings spread open and his chest and his feet? Right there. It's the Bohemian Grove owl. Now, if you flip this around, the Rothschild shield shape is right here. And a lot of people say that's a spider. It's not a spider. It's confirmed a little mini owl in that tiny, see that tiny little bump inside there? That is an owl sitting on the crest right there, the crescent moon, because you see that little crescent moon in the corner. That is sitting right there, a Bohemian Grove owl. Now, Lord Jesus, let me get some water here. Yeah, homie don't play, right? Brass knuckles, huh? Anyway, so here we go. So there's 13 steps to the top of the pyramid, 13 letters in Annuit Coeptus, 13 letters in Novus Ordo Seclorum, 13 stars that make up a 6-pointed star, 13 letters in E Pluribus Unum. There's 13 stripes altogether, 7 white stripes, 6. So 6, 7, 6, 7. It puts man above God. 6, 7, 6, 7. 6 black stripes. Hold on. Come on, focus here. All right, 6 black stripes, 7 white stripes, 13 stripes altogether, 13 leaves, 13 olives, 13 arrows. What's with all the 13? 6 over 7 equals 13. 6 over 7 is man above God, but number 13 represents depravity and rebellion. So now this eye is a left eye, which is the all-seeing eye of Lucifer. They've confirmed this. This is all confirmed. Like, you can trust me with this, I promise. Okay, now you have obviously the Masonic connection announcing, or an annuit coeptus in Latin means announcing the conception. At the bottom of it, Novus Ordo Seclorum, meaning new secular order, means the new world order. So announcing the birth of the new world order. And at the bottom of the pyramid, it's 1776. But there's an M at the beginning and a 1 at the end. And that stands for May 1st, 1776. And that's when the Illuminati was founded in Bavaria, Germany. Now, we all know that this is an Illuminati sigil, okay? Now, let's go over here. If you look at the back of the eagle's head, very carefully, there's one feather coming off the back of its head. There's one feather coming off the back of its head. Eagles don't have a feather coming off the back of its head. That is a phoenix in disguise, okay? A phoenix represents rebirth. If you notice, the phoenix is looking in favor of the Luciferian New World Order. This also represents all the ancient kingdoms that have come before us: Assyria, Egypt, Babylon, the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks and the Romans. And what we're now in is the revived Roman Empire, a new world order being reborn. All right, this phoenix is looking in favor of this ancient kingdom headed up by Lucifer that's been born on May 1st, 1776. Okay, this wing right here has 33 feathers. This wing right here has 32 feathers, and that's representative of the two different rites of Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite and the York Rite. The Scottish Rite has 33 degrees. The York Rite has 32 degrees. Now, if we go and we connect the Masonic connection again, it'll be under the guise of Freemasonry that stabilizes this conspiracy. Hold on, I'm trying to get this to focus here. Okay. And it'll be under Freemasonry, which, it says in the Bible, we'll be under the shadow of the Almighty's wings. Okay. So wings stabilize, wings protect the young. Okay. So under the guise of Freemasonry, okay, this New World Order will be born, headed up by Lucifer. It will be all ancient kingdoms reborn, okay, on May 1st, 1776. All right. Out of many, one is in the eagle's mouth, but out of many, one what? Out of many, one what? E pluribus unum means out of many, one in Latin. And it actually represents out of many secret societies, one is formed, because it had nothing to do with the colonies, because there was 12 colonies in a subdivision. Go do your fact checking. Go actually look. Go actually dig. You find out there's 12 colonies and one subdivision. 13 doesn't represent our colonies, because there never was 13 colonies. There was 12 and one subdivision, which was Washington, D.C. All right, now, hold on, let me focus this here. In the occult world, if a hand is open, okay, something's being given to you. Like, say there's like you ever seen that symbol with the eye in the center of the hand? That means like knowledge, or foretelling of your futures, and that information is being handed over to you. Now, if a fist is clenched, something's being taken away. And if you notice in the talon of, in the talon right here is an olive branch with 13 leaves and 13 olives. And over here is 13 arrows, okay? And the arrows represent our military might and the ability to protect ourselves, our Second Amendment. And this always, the olive branches always represented peace. They're going to take away our peace. They're going to take the ability to protect ourselves and to be able to use the military to be able to protect our homeland. All right. Under the guise of Freemasonry, they're going to start a new world order, and it's going to be headed up by Lucifer. It's going to be all ancient world kingdoms reborn from the date of May 1st, 1776. And they will place man above God. Okay. And out of many secret societies, one is being formed. And they'll take, like again, I said, they'll take away our peace, and they'll take away the ability to protect ourselves. Now, I want you to ask yourself a question, everybody. All the money has changed. The 5s, the 10s, the 20s, the 50s, the 100s, the penny. They've even done new designs on some of the backs of the pennies. new dimes, new nickels, new quarters, new 50-cent pieces, new dollar coins. New dollar coins, but they have not changed this dollar bill. Do you want to know why? Because their plan isn't finished yet. And their plan is still in effect. Mark my words. What I've been telling you about what's coming, about the chaos that's coming, and again, I have to bring it up. Oh, hold on one second. Is this document written by an Illuminist about the Third World War that's coming? I've shown it time and time again on my channel about what World War III will be. And World War III will produce Antichrist. This thing is going to happen, and it's moving fast. It's moving real fast. And the basis of their whole entire operation is funding coming through black projects like human and child sex trafficking and harvesting and adrenochrome. That is how they fund the building of the New World Order. That is how they keep it off the books. And that's what Kathy O'Brien says. And I promise you she's in the know. There's an acceleration happening. So we dug pretty deep today. Almost 3 hours. Wow. I'm a busy beaver. But the children are the core of their religion. The destruction of the youth, the destruction of the innocence is the core of their religion. There's actually a new book I picked up. I picked up their protocols because I want to start going through this book. And I'm going to go through and highlight, and I'm going to show people how in this book, it is not a Jewish conspiracy, that it is in fact a Illuminati takeover. You can see the index here, the contents of it. I'll read it to you. And again, they want the Jews to take the fall for the conspiracy, so they coded this document in such a way that the Jews would take the fall for it. Protocol 1, right, lies, and might. Protocol 2, economic war and disorganization led to international government. The 10 kingdoms, like I've been telling you about. All right, Protocol 3, methods of conquest. Protocol 4, the destruction of religion by materialism. Protocol 5, despotism and modern progress. Protocol 6, the acquisition of land, which is coming. They're buying up lots of land. The encouragement of speculation. Protocol 7, prophecy of worldwide war. Been telling you. Protocol 8, the transitional government. Protocol 9, the all-embracing propaganda. Protocol 10, abolition of the Constitution and the rise of autocracy. Protocol 11, or that was Protocol 11, sorry. Protocol 12, the kingdom of the press and control, of the control it all. All right. Protocol 13, turning public thought from essentials to non-essentials. Protocol 14, the destruction of religion as a prelude to the rise of the Illuminati God. Protocol 15, utilization of masonry. What I just showed you. All right. Heartless suppression of enemies, which is going to be, I think, done through a pandemic. Protocol 16, the nullification of education. Protocol 17, the fate of lawyers and the clergy, because of the clergy response team I've talked to people about. There's people literally that have been conscripted by the U.S. government that have been put out here to control the masses and to get them to snap and fall in line when it comes time. Protocol 18, the organization of disorder. Protocol 19, mutual understanding between ruler and people. Protocol 20, the financial program and construction. Protocol 21, domestic loans and government credit. Protocol 22, the beneficence of Illuminati rule. Protocol 23, the inculcation of obedience. Protocol 24, the Illuminati ruler. All right here. And we will be going through this as a channel. And I want to do very specific videos when it comes to this. And then we're going to try to put them in a playlist for people to watch. Or what I'll try to do is I'll just read it through and through. And well, let's read this. How about this? Ready to hear some of the protocols? The outside appearances and the political, the genius of rascality, what is promised by a Masonic coup d'etat, universal suffrage, self-importance, leaders of Masonry, the genius who is guide of Masonry, institutions and their function, the poison of liberalism, Constitution, a school of party discords, era of republics, presidents, the puppets of Masonry, responsibility of presidents, Panama, part played by Chamber of Deputies and President, Masonry, the legislative force, new Republican Constitution, transition to Masonic despotism. Why would Jews have anything to do with Masonry? All right, they don't. Moment for the proclamation of the Lord of all the world, inoculation of diseases, and other wiles of Masonry. And that's just, the what they're kind of going over what's in this protocol. So it's insane. It's insane what's out there. And as a channel, we cover it. I don't know too many channels that cover this stuff. I don't know any other channel that's went through and gave the whole entire history of the Illuminati card game from beginning to finish. I don't know. So 2 hours and 48 minutes, all by myself, by the way. Got a lot to talk on a lot of the time, and I just got to say, I forgive my enemies and I forgive those people that are out there to do me harm. God will have his way with them. But all I've ever done is tried to stand up for the truth on this channel. Against all odds. Huge, entire, mass amount of people against me. I'm going to continue to stand. Even if it's alone. May God bless you all. May he keep you. And please don't forget to go out and change this world in which you live.